Welcome to the Release Your Blocks podcast. I am your host, Victoria Bond. Join me as we chat about mindset, consciousness, and turning up your potency so you can get clear on your divine mission here on earth. I'm a spiritual empowerment coach. I use intuition, mediumship, and life coaching with my clients so they can create the life they truly desire. I believe we are here to be wealthy and healthy. If you desire more of this in your life, then this is the podcast for you. My mission is to share my knowledge of entity clearing, shifting limiting beliefs, and becoming more conscious within our bodies and minds so we can fulfill our life's purpose. I will be bringing you weekly podcasts with interviews, solos, and pre-recorded juicy lives from my socials. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and if you do, I would love you to please follow me here and find me at Holistic Energy Shifting on Facebook, where you can find a heap of free inspiration and information to shift the energy and grow abundance. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome to today's podcast. I am so excited to be here and thank you so much for joining. Today we're going to be talking about manifesting with allowance. Allowance is a word that has come into my reality in the last 5 years. And it is something that I didn't used to have. I very much functioned from right and wrong and good and bad. And it was like a badge of honor. I knew what was right. I knew what was wrong. I knew what was good and what was bad. I had a really good sense of judgment. And the funny thing about that is, as I kind of hit the 30 mark, I went, oh my gosh, what if everything I've learned I could unlearn and relearn the way I want to learn? Because if you listen to my first podcast, you would know that I, 5 years ago, was massively struggling. I was in the depths of depression. I had got everything that I wanted. And I made sure I had the husband, the house, the children, the business. I had it all. So I was sitting there going, why? Why am I not happy? And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that right now. I wanted it, I got it, I made it happen, but I didn't do it with energy. I did not do it with manifesting from joy and allowance. I did it from demand and command, which is good. That is right. You can demand and command whatever you want and you will get it. But if you're going to make $1 million and you're not going to have joy and you're just working all the time, what's the point of making the $1 million, right? So what we do when we're manifesting is we put vibrations out. Right? We lift our frequency and we go, we desire this. We require this. Can we please have this now? And when you do that, you will get things back. The trick is not to presume how it's going to come and not to presume when it's going to come. You can ask a little bit more specifically. You can say, I would like some money, please. Like I would like to make, $100,000 within the next 4 months, please. What would it take? You could do something like that, but you also have to make sure that your body and your mind and your spirit and your soul are all vibrating at a really high frequency, at a frequency of love. You have to also be willing to receive it. If you are asking for $100,000 in 4 months and you're just using your voice and you're just saying, I would like money, I want $100,000. And you're using the word want, which, by the way, used to mean lack in the dictionary. So just keep that in mind. That's why I use the word desire and require. Little side note there. But if you are saying that stuff and you're doing it from scarcity, like, I want $100,000, I want $100,000, I want $100,000, and you're going, I'm putting it out there, but I can't see it grow. It's not coming kind of thing. Then it's not going to. Because you are literally putting it out at the wrong frequency. So this is where I'm going to start talking to you about receiving. Okay. So when I started I've been doing this stuff off and on since I was in my 20s. I bought the book, The Secret. I watched the movie 10 million times. I would be like, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to make $1 million. And I never made $1 million. It didn't happen because I was doing it from need and want. So really check in with your within your body and see where that feeling is of where you're asking it from. Is it coming from your heart center? Is it coming from your gut? Is it coming from need or want? Or is it coming from desire and gratitude and expansion? that there is really key when it comes to manifesting. And then the next point is, being willing to receive it. Like I said, never have a point of view on how you're going to receive it. You can ask for it to come with ease and you can ask for it to come sooner, but you have to leave that a little bit open and you have to really step back and let it come. Let it manifest. Let it drop in. And it may come in the form of an idea. If you ask for $100,000 and you just said, I would like $100,000, please. What would it take for me to get $100,000? And then you literally just drop it, forget about it. And the next part of that would be to raise your frequency. Okay, so it's kind of sitting there in the background, but you're not kind of obsessive on it and making it solid. You're not solidifying that of it has to happen, rah, rah, rah. You require to make sure that your frequency is really bloody high so then it can match you. So it could drop in. You might be walking on the beach, raising your frequency, and you might go, oh my God, I've just had this amazing idea. You might build a program and make $100,000 within the 4 months, just like you asked. Or you may get half of that. That might happen to you, where you make 50 grand and then you get a check in the mail or a massive big refund. And then you might sell a section and you get 100 grand off that. And then all of a sudden you've made way more than what you thought you would. But you have to acknowledge and have allowance of how that's going to come. It may come in property or checks, or it may come in your idea. It's not just going to drop from the sky, So the more allowance you can have with manifesting, the more you will drop down. And that's where you have to actually open yourself up because you're at such a high frequency and drop your barriers, expand your energy and start receiving, which is my third pillar. If you cannot receive, if you don't have the relationships in your life, if you do not have the money in your life, if you don't have joy and love, then you have a receiving problem. So what do we do about that? Because you've put this out there saying, I want this $100,000. And then you're like, oh no, but what happens when it comes down and you're not willing to receive because you've got these big barriers up because you were taught not to receive. And that's why I talked about releasing in the second podcast, back basics of energy. If you go and watch that, if you haven't watched it yet, we talk about how you can actually release that a little bit more. But receiving is an honor. Receiving is a privilege. Receiving is everything. Receiving is joy. Receiving is love. Receiving is a contribution to the world. If you give somebody a present and they don't receive it, they just go, thank you, but they've got a receiving problem and they don't really, really feel massive amounts of gratitude for you, it's not because they're ungrateful, it's because they have a receiving problem. If you are making minimum wage and you never win anything, everything seems hard, you work hour to hour and money doesn't come easily, then you have a receiving problem. The universe wishes to give you everything your heart desires. And it's all about how much you're willing to receive that determines how much you get. You're always getting dropped down nuggets for you to perceive, nuggets of gold. You are always given opportunities to release the stuff that you're holding on to that you haven't had to clean out of yet. And you are always getting thrown gifts every day, money gifts. You're getting healing gifts. You're getting superpower gifts every single day. So how many of you are truly receiving all of these gifts from the universe? Or how many are you feeling that you're lucky enough and maybe they should go to somebody else because you've got enough money, you've got food on the table, you've got all sorts of amazing stuff, so why would you need anything else? No, give it to somebody else. The minute you have that type of feeling, I promise you, the universe will go, okay, that's a frequency, that's a vibration, we'll go give it to this person over here. Oh, look, there's a multimillionaire. They're functioning from a high frequency. They're willing to receive. They're perceiving all of these things. Let's just drop down a couple more $1 million ideas and give them another million because that person over there didn't want it. So who are we to give it to them? Because they're literally saying, don't give it to me. Hi guys, I've just stopped for one moment to tell you a couple of things, okay? So the Release Your Blocks program is now open and I'm so excited. So if you are willing to have more joy, to have better relationships, to have more money, and to really drop into finding out what your superpowers are so you can complete your mission here and your purpose here on earth, this program is phenomenal. It is full of modules that help you to release all of the past limitations and mistaken beliefs that you've picked up while you've been here on earth. And it also helps you to perceive what it is that you need to know to take those next steps in your life. And it also helps you to receive all of that information. If you want to know more about this, check out the notes and we can jump on a call and I will personally talk to you to see if you are a fit for the Release Your Blocks program. This is for people who are willing to do the work, that are willing to become more conscious, and that are willing to take responsibility for themselves and have a life full of abundance and joy, because that is what we are here for. Joy and abundance and love and gratitude is all a big part of this 12-week program, and I would love to talk to you to see if you're a fit. So now I'll let you get back to the podcast. So receiving, how do we do this? Okay, so you can start off with very simple things, okay? So rather than hustling to get more work or hustling to, take more hours on so you can pay the bills or all that type of stuff, or saving up like all your pennies to try and do this, all you have to start doing is connecting to the earth. So I know that sounds very simple, but what if life was literally simple and then money started rolling in, love started rolling in, joy started rolling in, opportunities started rolling in? These people, these entrepreneurs that are manifesting massive amounts of money, yeah, I'm sure they work hard, but they're perceiving what they require to do, So I'm not going to go into the business side of it, although I could talk about this for hours. But when it comes to manifesting, start small. Start being an allowance of energy. Start being an allowance of what you're actually perceiving, and then believe yourself. We usually go to our mind and we turn around and go, no, I couldn't have seen that or thought that, or that can't be true. It's like when you look at somebody and you can see through them and you know that they're probably a narcissist and not a nice person, but you go, don't be so silly because they were smiling and being nice. So you go to your brain instead of your gut. Always listen to your gut. That is 101 of life. But when it comes to manifesting, taking off your shoes and connecting to the earth, tapping into gratitude every day. What am I grateful for? And starting off every single day and finishing the day when you go to bed, every time you're in bed, having an immense amount of gratitude for your body, for your being, for your soul, for your team, which is another podcast. We talk about team and your spirit team. Having gratitude for your family, having gratitude for your job, having gratitude for the 20 cents that you picked up off the floor, having gratitude for your animals, having gratitude for the weather, whether it's raining, whether it's windy, whether it's sunny, having gratitude. And if you find it hard to tap into that, start moving your body and walking and doing a little incantation. I am so grateful for today. I am so grateful for this walk. I am so grateful for my breakfast. I am so grateful for my partner. I am so grateful. And if you just start doing this, you're going to start really shifting your mindset. And then what you want to do when you get yourself into this heightened phase, like this kind of like feeling, is you start saying, I am willing to receive. I am willing to receive. I'm willing to receive. I'm willing to receive, and sit there on the earth. Like I personally go and put my hands down on the earth, and I just really kind of connect with the earth, because hello, we are on earth and it's an amazing, beautiful place. But how many of us go, oh my God, I need to mow the lawns or weed the garden, or there's daisies again, I must mow them, instead of going, oh my gosh, we get these beautiful, here in New Zealand anyway, we get these beautiful little daisies popping up. There's birds, there's animals, we are in heaven. We are in wonderland. Everything is magic. Yes, there is always night and dark. There is always polarity. There is always bad and good. There's all these different things. But if we can drop the judgment and function from allowance and are willing to receive everything that we're perceiving, and we trust that, and we know that we're unstoppable. We know that we are here for a purpose. We know that we have a mission, and whatever that is, it might not be conquering the world. It may be connecting to the earth. It may be receiving your birthright of manifesting your wildest dreams, because the happier you are, the more joy that you have, the more love that you have, the more gratitude that you have. You are doing a job right there. What if the purpose of living this life wasn't the hard yards of trying to leave a legacy for our children? It wasn't trying to put, bread on the table and sleep and constantly these day cycles. What if it was so much larger than that? And no matter what job you have, whether you have a job where you get paid peanuts or whether you're a multimillionaire, we are all the same. So that means you can manifest whatever the hell you want. I know people that have gone from making, like $300 to $300,000 within a year. I know people who have been in bad relationships, like violent relationships, or having terrible upbringings, to being multimillionaires and having the love of their life and living a dream life. And so many of us, when we're not getting the massive amounts of money, we're in a basic job and we're looking at these people and they've got this, this, and this, and this, and this, we see ourselves as separate from them. But it's not true. The only difference is they are willing to receive what we are not. And if the universe is dropping them down, because everyone has the ability to have money and to have love and to have joy and to have self-love, it all comes within, not the external, but from within. So, and this is a part of release your blocks. If you can release all these limitations and these mistaken beliefs, then you can see how it is your birthright to receive everything that you truly desire. And the people with the money, the ones that seem happy and that they're full of joy and they have what they require and what they want and they're making a difference in the world, those are the people that are willing to receive, and they're going to take your amount as well. They're going to take your share because you don't want it, and it has to go somewhere. Energy never goes stagnant. It just shifts and moves. So like I said before, the people that go from the abusive relationship to an amazing relationship, they made choices to receive more. They made choices to release the crap. They made choices to perceive their superpowers and their potency. And this doesn't have to happen overnight. It can. It happened to me very, very, very fast. So manifesting can happen fast or it can happen slower. Personally, I like things happening fast. And the faster it happens, sometimes the rockier it is because you kind of have to release it faster and perceive and then receive. So it's kind of learning all this stuff. And now that we have this kind of digital space, we can download a lot of information, but it's up to our beings and ourselves and all of the rest on how much we're willing to receive of that and how much we're willing to shift and change at any given moment. So basically, to manifest with allowance and ease, it is all about being willing to receive. Now, one little thing I'm going to throw out there before you guys go and do this, if you do this, is to know that when we're willing to receive and when we're asking for abundance, to ask for it with ease, but also when we're willing to receive, sometimes the things that we don't want to receive comes at us as well. And that's when I just want to give you this little bit of a side note of you have choice. Receive the things that you desire and then throw away the rest. So I'm not choosing that. So in other words, learn to say no with no charge, but with allowance. So you say, I'm willing to receive. And all of a sudden you've got like 10 million friends, or you ask the universe, I would like some more friends in my life. And then all of a sudden you're getting bombarded by these people wanting to be your friends. You can't be friends with every single person. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's kind of like a hard work, and I kind of actually advise you to be kind of like picky who you spend your time with, because frequency, vibration, if you're wanting to manifest, you're definitely kind of wanting to have high vibe people. So you don't want negative people around you, of course, goes without saying. But when it comes down to it, you have the choice on who you wanted to be friends with. So you can say, thank you, universe, for throwing all these clients at me, or all these people at me, all these friends at me, all these partners at me. Like if you were single and you wanted a man or a woman, and then all of a sudden the universe goes, well, you asked, and it starts getting thrown at you, you can go, oh, thank you. Now I just have more choice. This is about your perspective, because a lot of people, they say they want more money. But if they truly received that money, if they got that $1 million, would they really be willing to receive it, or would they freak out? So raise your frequency, know your worth, go into gratitude, and then fill up your cup and say, I'm willing to receive. Get yourself and your body and your mind and your being and your energy, your aura, expand yourself out, of course. Drop all your barriers and say, I'm willing to receive, and know that nothing can hurt you unless you let it. So know that you are the strongest entity in your existence, and you are the one who makes your life happen. The external cannot hurt you unless you allow it to. And if you are allowing that, then go back to do some releasing, do some journaling, and just remember, this is a journey. This isn't a destination. So this is about us going through these things over and over again. Every time we up level, every time these amazing entrepreneurs are shifting and changing, they're not just lucky. They do the work. They're aware that they must release. They are aware that they must perceive what's next, and they must be willing to receive it. And if you're not willing to receive, if you're not willing to be an allowance, then you probably won't get those things that you're truly desiring, and you certainly won't be getting them with ease. So manifest with allowance. Allow yourself to receive with joy and love and money, and having an overflow of amazingness in your life by tapping into the gratitude and love. I'm going to leave it there, my loves. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening, and I'm super excited to see you next time. Bye. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for joining the Release Your Blocks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a review and tell me what your favorite takeaway from today was. There is so much more from where this came from. You can also find me at Holistic Energy Shifting on Facebook, where you can find more content, more coaching, and more guidance. Have a grand and glorious day, and I'll see you next time.